that noise? You don't want to talk about this film, do you?
Forrest Gump, 1994.
Forrest, a man with low IQ, recounts the early years of his life when he found himself in the middle of key historical events.
A unanimously loved and adored movie.
One of, if not the most beloved movies ever.
Does not age great, does it though?
It's not wonderful.
I am not into this movie.
Well, see, the thing is, I am. Oh, well, at least I was. This was my favourite film, when I was a kid. I loved this movie. I watched it. Hear me out.
How many times did you watch this?
Oh, man, a lot. More than I'll admit. I watched this film with my dad a lot. It's one of the films I remember growing up very fondly. I've not watched this movie in a while.
You were caught up in Gump fever?
I was, man. I had a Bubba Gump shrimp hat. I did. I got one for Times Square in New York. I went to the shop. I don't know if it's still there. And I bought a hat that says Bubba Gump on it.
Season 2, baby!
Season 2. We're at a new location. We've upgraded the Coconut Shack.
Yeah, man.
So if it sounds different, it's because we're
both knackered for the past few months.
We're both knackered. We've had a time of it when we've been away. I've been ill. You've been ill.
I'm ill right now.
You've moved house. I have kids, go to school. A lot's been going on. But we're back, and we're back with a bang. We're back with
a Gump. This is a disclaimer. We are not making fun of anybody that's disabled.
No, absolutely not.
We are making fun of Tom Hanks' performance in this film.
Well, no, his performance is good.
I mean, it's not consistent.
No, but I think in fairness to him, that's more down to the direction. That sometimes the movie takes liberties with that, and he's smart when he needs to be, but other times he's completely oblivious.
He's got the odd monologue that makes you think you're kidding him.
You're acting. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's start at the start. Let's start with this fucking feather.
The score, man. Oh,
I like this wee piano.
Oh.
It fills me with joy and happiness.
Okay.
Ding, 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 ding. The feather at the very end of the movie flies away again. So is the feather lucky? If it lands on you, this cool shit's going to happen to you. Then when it flies away, it lands on the next person, and then they'll meet the president.
Okay. You really like Forrest Gump.
Because this guy, if nothing else, he's lucky. My first note here, I wrote, I'm sorry, but I have been transported back to my childhood. So when this movie starts, I'm sitting in the living room, I hear this little music score, I see that feather, and I'm happy.
You turn around, you get your dad phones on.
I phone my dad, guess what I'm watching.
This was every single Sunday.
He made me watch it. What's your thoughts?
On what?
The opening.
Stop slowing this down, man.
His wee daft suitcase and his wee daft book of memories and stuff.
This nurse takes a seat and he just can't wait to bother her.
Oh man, the amount of people he bothers at this fucking bus stop. We've all been there. We've all been to a bus stop and that guy starts talking to you, man. Can I just walk? Is it easier to walk? I get a taxi and spend the money.
Gump it and run.
I went first Gump Day and waiting for a bus.
Well, that's the end of it.
I know, I suppose, spoiler.
He sat there for hours.
Like fucking dafty.
Oh, the whole thing was so unnecessary, man.
He sat there all day, talking shit. Anyway, this poor woman sits down. She's had a hard day at work. She's sat in her arse. Her feet must be killing her. And then this big guy starts talking to her.
He introduces himself by offering her a chocolate. He tells her that his mother always said life is like a box of chocolates.
No, I'm not letting you get away with that. You need to do it in the impression.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
Good, that was good. Well done.
She barely looks up for this book as he rabbits on, man. Oh, I'd be terrified or not.
She's just trying to read a magazine or a book, man. Just leave her alone.
My headphones would be on as soon as he said hello.
No, you fuck. You weren't even listening to anything, you just put them on as if you're listening to something just so you don't need to interact.
I'd clock that briefcase, man, and just pump it up. Are we going to talk about it?
briefcase.
I've got his haircut.
I mean, his haircut at least is consistent. It's the exact same haircut through his entire life.
You could set a watch by it.
Aye. He's got a short back and sides. Is that a crew cut? Is that what they call it? He always looks comfy.
Oh, the sneakers and that look real comfy. The chinos are smart.
The chinos, he's got a nice wee buttoned up shirt. Often.
He looks great.
Aye. So, at least he's comfy. Anyway, he starts talking about this poor woman's shoes. See, if you're at a bus stop and somebody starts talking about your shoes, you're like, fuck off, mate.
You're gonna take my shoes.
You'd start immediately being like, oh, fuck, he wants my shoes. Alright, mate, I have nice sneaks. You're like, they're mine.
But there was a time people would say, and I think the times are back, can I try them on?
Aye, the wind, you like, fuck off.
And we start talking about these magic shoes.
These magic shoes. So this is the sort of transition into the younger self. So this movie, if you've not seen it, then how have you not seen Forrest Gump?
Flashback City, by the way.
It's all done in flashbacks. It's all done present day, sitting at a bus stop, telling his life story to these complete strangers. Some of them care more than others, as we'll get to. But it starts off when he's, I don't know, what was he called, 6 or 7 years old here, would you say?
He's real young and he's talking about his leg braces because as a kid he had a crooked back.
Yeah, his back was like a question mark, the doctor says.
Yeah.
So these braces will straighten him out. It's big daft fucking magic shoes of his.
He says he was named after the man that started the Ku Klux Klan.
That's mental, by the way.
To remind him that sometimes people do stuff that makes no sense.
Forrest Gump is named after the leader or the founder of the KKK. Why is that not talked about enough? Why did that doesn't need to be in the film. It says something about these people that used to put bed sheets over their heads.
Yeah.
And it's Tom Hanks, like in the flashback, they have this weird Tom Hanks wearing a KKK mask.
Yeah.
And it's in black and white. It's so fucking
Birth
weird.
of a Nation, yeah. It's...
And unnecessary, like that doesn't, just cut that out.
When... What was Mama Gump up to, man? We'll get...
I
sat and thought during this recent revisit. What are you up to, Sally Field, your minx? We're going to get to it. When young Forrest gets his brace stuck in a sewer gate, his mum helps him out and snaps at some men who are gawking. She tells Forrest never to let anyone say they're better than him. Sally Field, you know how I feel about Sally Field.
Oh, you've got a big old crush on her.
Time. I still have a crush on Sally Field.
That's what yeah.
I watched 80 for Brady no long ago.
Why?
Because somebody told me the synopsis was they were trying to bang Tom Brady.
Is that real?
No. And I thought it was like a sex comedy.
For older women?
Jane, Lily.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. They just want to get to the Super Bowl as one of their last dying wishes. And I thought, where's the banging Jane?
I just buy tickets in.
Oh, but wee Sally was looking great through it.
I'm glad. Jane still looks amazing. Jim Fonda.
Jane, Lily Tomlin.
Do you watch that their Netflix show that I forget the name of?
Grace and Frankie. Everybody tells me I'd love it.
I've watched it, man. Jane Fonda's looking smashing in it.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Her daughter's June. Oh my god, how do you say her name? June Rayfield.
June Diane Rayfield.
Her, yes, that's has her daughter in it, and
Ethan Embry's the son, I think.
Aye.
I pure love him. He's one of my favourite actors. I'm a huge Sally Field fan. From The Flying Nun, or time with Burt Reynolds, I think she's adorable. Still.
Fucking Doubtfire.
Doubtfire, she's amazing in that. So is Pierce Brosnan, Big Ride.
Oh, the Big Ride he is.
Oh, he's lovely.
Oh yes, man. What a great guy. Now, Forrest mentions in the voiceover that his mum owns a B&B. Am I right in saying? Or there's people coming and going.
People
and
coming
they rent
and
out
go.
rooms.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is a plantation.
It's been in the family for a dozen or so generations.
So he's already said that he's named after his grandfather who started the KKK. And his house has been in the family for generations. It's a big old white house in the middle of a big field in Alabama. This was a slave house. This is what this is.
That's a bold.
It's a slave house.
I would have won our ways to see it.
This is a slave house. This is a big old plantation. That's all it is.
Sally Field is only 10 years older than Hanks.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of mental. They age her up quite well, in fairness, like in the later scenes. But the makeup and stuff, they do make it look a bit older.
Oh, aye, and that 4K was not forgiven, by the way.
Oh, did you watch a 4K? I'm dying, Forrest.
Help me, Forrest. Just after his mum tells Forrest he's no different from anyone else, we cut to Forrest's school principal. This is Forrest's school principal. This is Bernard from Lost.
Oh, is that who that guy is?
Yeah.
This guy's really good. He's a good actor.
He says Forrest can't attend regular quotations school because his IQ is only 75. The state requires a minimum IQ of 80. 5 points.
I know, just game it, man.
5 points, and you're trying to get a Gammy for 5 points. Forrest's mum isn't going to give up on him. She wants him to have the same education as anyone else and is willing to do just about anything. The principal then asks Mrs. Gump if there's a Mr. Gump in the picture. It turns out he's on vacation.
Man, this scene. So this next scene, Forrest... Sorry, I can't stop laughing at this. Forrest Gump's just like sitting out in this tyre swing or something outside his house at night time.
They are pile driving in there, man.
Man, he's pumping fuck at her.
She is pumping fuck out him as well, man. The best mother, man.
Oh yeah, no, totally. She did
She
it,
rules.
but still, like the noises. I've never heard anybody, even in porn, have sex like this.
When the principal comes out, Forrest goes.
So he says to him like, "Your mum really cares about your education," and Forrest is just staring off into the distance, and he says, "You don't talk much, do you?" And he just turns around and starts going. It's kind of creepy, man.
Oh, it's weird. It's so weird.
This wee boy's just been sitting there listening to his mum just drill this principal, man.
Oh,
He's all sweaty as well, so the way he comes out and he's like mopping his brow with his tie.
oh, he looks like he was a pump away for a heart attack. We see Forrest's mother reading to him, and Forrest asks what vacation means, whatever his dad's doing. She answers that vacation means when someone goes away and never comes back.
That's not right.
I imagine him coming back at the end when he learns about Forrest's success.
I learns about all this money.
You know how, like, the water boy, Roberto? Forrest, it's me, your daddy, Roberto!
Aye, that's the thing. Also, first of all, that's not what a vacation is. He did come back to a vacation.
She's no helping this situation.
She's teaching him the wrong shit. Next up, we've got was a people visiting the house. As we said, it's a B&B sort of idea. People come and go. This young man comes to visit.
Yes.
Do you want to take this, man? Because I can't talk about this.
So this is... we hear that once there was this man who thought Forrest dancing was pretty cool. The way his leg braces forced him to move around and swing his hips. This is suggesting Forrest taught Elvis Presley how to dance.
Elvis Presley got his dance from Forrest Gump and his mad legs.
Which is kind of nuts because he didn't steal anything else for any other people.
No, especially not black people
Nah.
in Alabama. Aye. It's kind of mental, and I distinctly remember it's one of my like earliest memories of like my dad explaining to me what was so bad about Elvis's like thrust thing. Because when he done that on TV, remember they're walking past the TV
Scandalous.
store,
Yeah.
and people were like, because he was like humping the air, and you could see like his ding dong or whatever, or like it was suggestive. And my dad had to explain to me, like, you don't understand, but that was, like, all over the news. People wanted him cancelled, like, I guess cancelled wasn't a term back then, but you know what I mean? Like, people, like, were against Elvis because he was, like, this big sexual deviant at the time just because he thrusted.
Did you watch Elvis for last year?
No, man, no interest at all.
Incredible.
Was it?
Incredible.
How was Big Hanks?
Oh, aye.
Because I seen...
It was a performance. He's good in it. Aye, he's very good in it.
Nah, it's not for me.
Austin Butler is
absolutely
amazing.
no interest in Elvis.
It's incredible. Oh, I like some records.
No, like I get he's got a decent voice and a good singer, but it's the whole stealing his whole thing for black people that I don't like that. What? You know what I mean? No.
You hear Elvis and you get that sort of chippy taste in your mouth. That's not right.
They do a good job, in fairness, of this Elvis impersonator because they do. It's smartly shot, but they don't put him in focus.
Allegedly, I say allegedly, Kurt Russell said it's him. He came back to do the voice.
Because he done Elvis in that movie.
With John Carpenter.
It might have done the voice, yeah, because it doesn't show you the guy. It's out of focus. It's actually shot really well.
There's no reason he'd lie about that.
Aye, it'd be a weird lie to make, guy. So anyway, Forrest Gump teaches Elvis how to dance. Not the first time. Sorry, let's say that again. Not the last time that Forrest Gump influences big events. He is all over the United States of America. And these
just living out these like pure boomer fantasies, man. Like multiple versions of the American dream, and
every version. It seems like every cliche, every American dream, every bumper sticker, every dance, every song was influenced by Forrest Gump in some way. It's the whole. It's just like the butterfly effect. Like everything he touches. Maybe it's like this fucking feather. Everything this feather touches, like something happens to it. Wee Forrest gets on the bus, says he's not supposed to take rides from strangers. The bus driver introduces herself. That's kind of sweet.
So sweet.
That's a sweet wee scene. Then he gets on the bus. Obviously, nobody wants to sit with him because he's got these big braces on, and obviously kids are mean. So they're like saying, "You can't say it here, can't say it next to me," and all that shit. So he just stuns.
They were on the South Park bus, I think. God damn it!
So,
His main impressions, right? As it goes on.
So he's just standing on the bus, and then we hear this wee voice being like, "You can see it here if you want."
Oh my god!
You can see it here if you want. Sorry, that's supposed to be my Jenny voice. Anyway, we were introduced to child Jenny.
God.
A sweet wee girl.
Poor Jenny,
But the
man.
wee actress is good.
I hope there's other timelines where this one doesn't exist
she needs
for
another
Jenny.
timeline. She needs a few another timeline. She's made a couple of mistakes.
You know the reverse Flash? She's the reverse Forrest in this movie, because for everything that goes right for Forrest,
Everything goes wrong for her.
everything goes wrong for the start. Is she rewarded at the end? No, here's age, you're dead.
Anyway, we're introduced to child Jenny here. She's sweet. She lets Forrest sit beside him. Forrest immediately is like infatuated with her. He says it's the sweetest voice in the whole wide world. We get the first and not the last. Are you stupid or something in this movie?
And he says his mother always says, stupid is a stupid does.
Which becomes a catchphrase that he uses all the time in this fucking film.
It's not a good catchphrase.
No, it doesn't make sense.
It didn't catch on.
No,
did it?
no, there's not a t-shirt saying stupid as a stupid does.
You only looking for that t-shirt.
Where's
at
my
Times
Gump
Square.
shop? Right, where's my t-shirt?
Imagine you in New York, pure full of Gump fever, man, and your mom's got her around you and she's like, oh, look around, son, and you're like, oh, is there any locations
I'm in
here?
Times Square and I'm ignoring the Hard Rock Cafe. I'm ignoring the big screen. I'm like, there's Baba Gump. What's that? What?
She clocks the prices of the official hats and says no, son, takes you to a street auction and buys you one of them.
It's the black cat. Baba Gump printing pen.
The back, stupid as it stupid does. The two crazy kids are now inseparable.
Aye, they're like peas and carrots, as Forrest says. And we get a wee montage of them like being friends.
Grown up and stuff like
Aye.
that.
It's kind of nice. Well, it's kind of nice for a while. There's a really sad bit actually. This is like the first bit of good acting for Hanks, but it's like it cuts to him on the bench again, and he says, "She was my only friend." The way he says it, pure sad, and he kind of goes silent a wee bit.
Yeah, it's a movie that's just, it's so melancholic. It's brutal, man. It's so sad.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a brutal film. That's the right way.
I can't believe you watched it all the time.
Right, can I just laugh? Right, because we're going to go into probably the most famous scene in the movie. Everybody knows this. Even people who haven't seen this movie knows that.
Run, Forrest!
Aye, the Run Forrest run scene, right? But before we start, he gets fucked in the head by this rock, man. It is hysterical.
It's brutal.
It is so funny, man. It gets him right in the face, man.
It's like a concrete block.
It's like a cinder block, man, right off his fucking napper.
That's no help. Yeah. What's Mrs. Gump going to need to do for the health insurance? Anal? Honest to fuck, man. Gump would be a grandma on the Gilf category now at OnlyFans just to get him out of trouble. These bullies and they're your classic, hey, Skeeter, right?
Aye, totally. This is just, let's get him because he's different.
Let's get that boy.
Aye, so they're throwing rocks at him. Jenny tells him to run. He runs like fuck.
Run, Forrest.
Yeah, the iconic scene. They're chasing him on their bikes. He's running that fast and that hard that these braces just disintegrate.
So inspiring, and it's suggesting that there are no life restraints on Forrest, Ryan. It's
Oh wow, you're seeing a lot of deep messages in this scene.
Yeah.
Were you being sarcastic?
No, I just have no interest in this film. It's pure Oscar bait, isn't it? This is just the formula for a wee Oscar.
Yeah.
And it did well. Gump took no salary for this. He took points instead. He cleared 40 million apparently for it. Smart
Nice.
man.
Yep.
Very smart man. It's
Ironic.
it is an incredible showreel of scenes, this film. I just have no interest in the finished product.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to put it.
2 out of 5 coconuts. I'm finished, man. I'm done. I can't.
There's still like 2 hours left to
There
go.
is so much of this film. I ask you why.
Let's get into it. Right, this movie's long. 2.5 hour runtime. You feel it, man.
You feel you're as knackered as him at the end of it.
There's a point in this movie, there's an actual point that I'm like, this is too much. Well, obviously, probably for you, it's this bit, Run Forrest Run, but there's a point in this movie where I'm like, end it now. Like, there's
I hear.
Aye, right. We'll get to it, we'll power through.
So, the iconic scene.
Right.
Run, Forrest, run. And yeah, the braces break away as this kid gets off. Forrest picks up the pace. They're chasing him.
They're chasing him on bikes, but he's still outrunning them because, again, this is at least the start of the theme of the movie. He can run like fuck.
That is a big theme.
That is a big
theme. Running
he runs
like
fuck.
And
if I was going somewhere, I was running. He's sitting at the bus stop, pure excited. The woman's looking at him like, alright.
we see Forrest running up to Jenny's house. Apparently, this is
Dark, man. I hate this. Jenny's dad was a very loving man. He was always kissing and touching her and her sisters. Her sisters, who, by the way, you never ever see or hear from in this movie.
Oh, I imagine similar tales.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, you'd think if she had sisters, maybe you'd see them or hear about them. But
The film doesn't care about that. They just
she
want
might
to
as well be an only child.
pile driver into the ground, this character.
Yeah. So they run into this cornfield. Our dad comes out. He's the most stereotypical redneck. He's got overalls on. He's got like a bottle of whiskey in his hand. He's like, Jenny, come here, girl. Meh. Do you know what I mean? He's Jenny's right out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They run through this cornfield. He's chasing them.
This is terrifying.
This is quite a dark and it's a scary scene. They kneel down in this cornfield and pray, which is quite dark.
The whole film's got something to it.
It's got a bit of a religious overtone sort of thing. A wee bit. It doesn't go too deep into it, but she prays. But she says that God will turn her into a bird so she can fly away, and that comes back later. God didn't turn her into a bird that day, but he did say the police she didn't have to live there anymore or something like that. Is that
Yeah, and then I'm happy to report everything worked out great for Jenny. Because it doesn't at all. This is just the start of her misery.
She moves into her grandma's trailer park, which is good for Forrest because it means that she's closer to him. Selfish.
It's probably on Salem's lot.
Probably, aye.
On
At the pet
Jenny's
cemetery.
lot. Jenny and Forrest stay friends all through school. Sometimes Jenny even sneaks into Forrest's house and sleeps in bed with him. It's a sweet friendship.
Yeah, no, that's nice. So then we're aged up a bit. Forrest gets nailed right in the head again with another rock. We're cut to it's
That
Tom
isn't
Hanks now.
helping anything, man.
Stop hitting this guy with rocks. Right, okay, so now we have our main actors for the rest of the movie. We've got Tom Hanks playing Forrest, and we've got what's that?
Robin Wright.
Robin Wright, thank you, playing Jenny. I'm
Robin
watching
Wright
this.
is amazing.
She is amazing. She's a great actress in everything. But in
And
this,
everything, man.
but in this, she's great.
Yeah, and I've never seen a bad performance from Robin Wright.
Did you watch House of Cards?
Yeah, she's
So good. isn't it,
incredible.
man?
She took over the reins when Kevin Spacey left for some
that
reason.
last season, she did a lot of heavy lifting for him.
Was she great?
Aye, she was great.
Program was crap.
Aye, kinda. The programme was good. That last season was rough though,
Yeah,
because they had to rewrite that in the fly.
it's a balancing act, isn't it? You're spinning a few plates.
Aye. Anyway, I'm watching this with my wife. She has never seen Forrest Gump before. All the way through, I think she's seen it. She's like a normal person.
Good
She's seen
for
it.
her, man. That I respect Neff so much. Whereas you're sitting rattled this thing 230
Aye.
times.
I'm pure. Watch this bit. And she's like, no.
My dad loves this bit.
Aye. So as soon as this bit comes on, we see Forrest Gump. She's like, is he supposed to be in fucking high school? He looks about 40. And I'm like, well, I mean, give him a break, man. Grease is the worst for this. John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John.
Rizzo.
Rizzo's the one who teaches.
Rizzo's like the one that haunts the school. Been there for centuries. We need to degrease it, and it's specifically the life of Rizzo.
The life it is. Oh man, who's had it worse, man? Rizzo or fucking Jenny?
I mean, Jenny, right? This is just. I hate this film, man. I don't know. Ugh.
So Forrest, we've got another run Forrest Gump, a run Forrest run scene here. He's running, but now the bullies have upgraded to a truck instead of bikes.
This is murder.
They're chasing him. It's attempted murder. They're chasing this guy down the truck, throwing rocks at him. They want to kill this fucking guy.
Oh, I think it's brutal. I don't know why they're really doing it. Maybe they don't like themselves.
It's Alabama.
What does that mean?
You know what I mean? Anybody that's a bit different there. Do you know what I mean? If you look different in any way, different skin colour, different...
I don't think they'd like what I'm all about.
No, see, you're getting hit with a rock immediately. A hat's getting knocked right off you. We don't like your can
My wee
here.
bracelets. Get a look at him.
You win the last 2 minutes. No offence.
And you'd be alright.
Alright.
In what way? How would you disguise yourself? You'd get in on the meats and all that.
I'd eat some jerky.
Jerky, you'd have
Drink a few beers.
Have a pale ale.
Aye.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yep. I could get down with that. Anyway, Forrest
You
run.
chased in a couple of locals. Get him, lads.
I haven't done any running because I'm no fit, but I'd be the one to be like, look at him, get him over there.
Driving.
I'd be driving the truck. I'm chasing you. Okay, that's good.
And I'm running, I'm like, but you came with me.
I don't like your cat.
I can't run like Forrest, so you just get me.
We just murdered you. Anyway, sorry. Forrest is out running this van. He takes a left, he runs across this field and somehow accidentally runs onto this football pitch. Runs right across the middle of this football game, and all these coaches and spectators are looking at him as if like, man, this guy's fast. Let's make him a football star.
What do you think Mama Gump was doing the day before?
Oh man, this whole team got a ride at her.
That was the first time Mama Gump rode the train.
That's all you need to do, just be able to run fast, and they give him a football scholarship. The coach here is Bear Bryant, who apparently is a real life legendary football coach. They just give him the ball and he just runs. And the joke is that he doesn't know anything about football because he doesn't know when to stop running.
It's not clear. Yeah, he's not 100% on like the rules of the game, but he sure is fast.
Aye, they just give him the ball and he just runs and nobody can catch him because he's that fat.
He gets a touchdown at one point.
Yeah, but he just keeps on running.
He just keeps running.
And he knocks down the band.
Yeah.
It's
I was
funny.
laughing.
It was quite funny. He just runs right up the tunnel.
He found college quite confusing.
Yeah, well, here we go with the racist stuff again, because...
Forrest isn't racist.
No, he's not. No, I just mean the...
He doesn't see race. That's a...
Yeah, the fact is he's ignorant about all these sort of social things.
I don't think it's ignorance, it's sweet bliss.
Yeah, no,
in a way.
ignorance is bliss. Like, he doesn't
absolutely
know enough to be hate for it, and he's just like... He just sees people. He's in that way he's normal because he doesn't have any underlying prejudices that people around him would have because of the influence or whatever of their family or whatever. Like, obviously he was raised well, because as much as we joke, like, Mama Gump is a good woman,
absolutely,
as far as we know, and she treats him right and teaches him about respect and how not to be different, and nobody's different, you can be the same as everybody else. So he's got good morals at least,
and to stand up for himself.
So these I guess this is the first of a couple of these scenes where, like, they use real news footage and they superimpose Tom Hanks into it.
Not successfully.
There's a school, it's going to be the first 3 black students to be put into this school in Alabama. It's like a whole big civil rights thing. This is a real thing. This is real news footage. Yep. I think it was Governor
Wallace.
So obviously there's a big protest. A lot of people in Alabama are not happy about it. The fact that people of colour are getting education. You see the governor making a speech and Forrest Gump standing behind him. Tom is looking about. It's quite funny. Looking confused. There's a word here. I don't know if I should say the word.
No,
but
there's a racial slur, and then Forrest associates it with trash pandas.
Yeah, aye. He gets mixed up. He's like, if Mama sees them, she usually chases them off with a broom, thinking he's talking about rodents. At the back, one of the students drops a book. Forrest goes and picks it up for him. He's like, "Ma'am, you dropped your book." And everybody's looking at him because he's helped this black woman, and everybody's like outraged. They're all looking at him as if he's like an idiot. But it's really funny because they all walk into school and he just walks in behind them and he turns around and just waves at the camera. It's really funny. I thought I got a genuine laugh out of me just to be sort of, he looks round and as if, because he sees everybody staring at him and he just kind of waves and just walks through the doors.
The nurse leaves at this point?
Yeah, she's like, "I'm done with you and your stories."
This woman is immediately down to chat.
Oh, this woman loves this story, aye.
She's not even getting a bus.
She just wants to hear his patter. So this happens a lot through the movie. We're sort of given the time period by, like, people getting shot. So it's Governor Wallace that gets shot at this point.
Forrest tells the woman that Jenny went to an all-girls college and he would visit her any chance he got.
Yeah, and then we cut to him sitting outside in the rain waiting for her, which is a bit depressing, man. He's sitting outside his college, it is pouring rain, it's absolutely fucking bouncing, and he's just sitting there on a bench waiting for Jenny. Quite creepy, man.
And she's getting on with this guy in a car.
It does seem like at one point she tells him to stop.
She says no or something like that.
Like, no, like, he's getting... The impression is that he's getting pretty handsy in the car with her, and that maybe she doesn't like it, but it's not really clear. But she does sort of yell at him at one point, but it's unclear what she says. Did you pick up on this?
I didn't know. I just couldn't get out of the sounds of beating.
Nice. Forrest sees red, man. Forrest just sees red.
Oh, he gets a pure Biff Tannen, man, remember?
Aye, that's right, exactly. Back to the Future.
You get your damn hands off her.
That's a great impression.
Is that a good Crispin Glover?
It's better than any of your Forrest Gump impressions so far. So this guy is like, screw this, like, who is this guy? Throws Jenny's bag at her, then leaves. I'm going to go to my college now. And she's like, "No, Forrest, it's fucking raining, what you doing? Come into my house." She takes him up to her room. It's a weird scene, man. You take it from here.
I'd rather know.
Right, so she takes him up to her dorm room. Her roommate is apparently sleeping. She dries him off with a towel, dries herself off with a towel.
She's a bit premature to dry him off.
Aye.
Speaking of premature.
She asks Forrest if he has any dreams or something. She wants to be a singer like Joan Baez. That's alright, calm down.
Forrest should ask if she's ever had any nightmares, because that's what she's gonna go through whilst he dreams.
Oh no, aye. So, she wants to be a singer, like Joan Baez.
Oh.
I'm kind of like that, Joan Baez. Come on, aim a bit lower than that, man.
Even you're writing her off.
Come on, Joan Baez, come on.
She could have been excellent.
Did you hear her singing? Then she takes her top off. Got a really weird sort of scene here where he's like clearly uncomfortable or doesn't know what to do. She takes his hand and puts it on her chest, am I right?
Aye, and he dumbs himself.
And then
He dumbs all over the place.
so aye, as I said, when I first seen this movie, I assumed that his reaction here is just him getting a boner and being like, oh, what's going on here? Why is it getting hard? But you think that... I watched this with my wife, as I said, and she also confirmed. She's like, I think he came.
Oh, an early 90s Robin Wright, I'd have been soaking.
At least his first time, kind of, is with Jenny, and she's there to help him through it. It could have been worse. It could have been some, like, strange lassie, and she's been like... It could have been like a Jim for American Pie situation here, where he gets humiliated.
Fucks a pie. That was the last pie Mama made. Oh, I cannot dare Forrest Gump. Forrest eventually makes the All-American football team because of course he does.
Aye, he meets JFK, the first of many presidents that he's going to meet in this movie.
I'm glad Gump didn't meet Clinton. He
fuck,
did took him on the hunt. Oh, he'd have been at Epstein's Island. He'd be on...
That's a sequel. Gump on Epstein's Island. I found this black book. It's got all these names in it.
On the aeroplane, that's all these people in suits, and he's got a rubber ring on.
He's got his Lilo, he can't wait.
It's a crocodile.
Saying I'm going on a beach holiday.
Forrest eventually makes the All-American football team and gets to meet JFK, but all Forrest remembers about it is that he drank around 15 free Dr. Peppers.
These Dr. Peppers look incredible, man. These old glass bottles, I would have downed 15 of these as well.
Oh, so appealing.
Dr. Pepper's my favourite soft drink.
When Red Bull came over, I was really young, and we went to an event at the Glasgow Green, and they were giving out promotional.
Mm-hmm.
I drank like 60 of these things because my parents didn't know what it really was.
Because it was, nobody knew at first, it was just like a drink. You didn't realise that it would fucking kill you.
And that's why we're immune to it to a degree.
I know, man, that's kind of crazy.
Doesn't it do anything?
JFK asks him how he feels. He says he has to pee. This was funny when I was a kid. The joke doesn't really land as hard now.
Yeah, he's shaking his hand, he has to pee. Forrest also reminisces about how JFK and his brother Bobby were both shot dead. He's got this fascination.
This happens a lot though. There's a theme throughout the movie where it's...
Can't wait to go to the army.
I know why, he's waiting to shoot somebody. He's got some pent up frustration.
After 5 years of playing football, Forrest gets a college degree. His mother couldn't be prouder of him.
That's kind of sweet. She sees him graduate and she probably thinks he was never going to graduate because, like, everything she had to do to get him into high school. No, but you know what I mean? Like, she probably seeing him graduate for college is probably something that, like, was nice for her to see. And then he immediately joins the army. Like, literally, he's still got his cap and gown on. He's getting a photo. Some guy comes up to him and is like, do you think about joining the army? And he's just like, okay.
Do you think Mama Gump didn't need to do anything, but she still did something for the recruiter?
She's bored, man. She's got a big house all to herself. Oh, come on.
When after the ceremony, the recruiter comes up. Yeah, that's exactly what Forrest does. When he climbs on the bus taking him to basic training, it's just like the first day of school, and it's sad again. It's
he gets on the bus.
Shame.
He's on the bus, and they're all like, "Can't sit here." And then he's introduced to his new best friend, Bubba.
Oh man, he's so great in the role.
You know, he is, and I like Bubba the character as well. A big sweet guy who just loves shrimp.
That's all he talks about.
Oh man, this would do my tits in. I know he's a nice guy in that, but fucking, is it a shrimp patter? I hate shrimp at all.
He's you wouldn't like it then, would you? I'm no too fond of the shrimp patter myself. I'd have quickly looked for any other sea or just stood up and fell down on the hill. Just roll about for the entire journey. Rather than listen to this shrimp.
So you'd rather row about in the aisle of a moving bus than listen to them talk about shrimp?
Just getting
Give
barred.
me a shrimp.
Bubba has a way of telling himself about himself, just like Forrest. It's really sweet. It's a lovely friendship. I wish it lasted longer.
Yeah, I know. This is my favourite part of the movie. Like in general, the whole Nam section of this movie is the best part. I wish that Zemeckis made just a Nam movie.
The army turns out to be really good for Forrest. He has an easy time following orders, and
He excels in the army.
he's really good at putting that weapon together.
A bit suspiciously too good.
He's a trained weapon.
Aye. I think the whole point is, and again, I suppose this plays off his disability, kind of, is that he's so razor focused on his task that if he's told to do something, he'll just do it and not get distracted. That's the kind of it. So if they like put this weapon together, he just does it.
Oh, the
Whereas fucking
military.
Bubba's behind him talking about shrimp the whole time. He's like,
The military. Forrest is the perfect soldier.
yeah, because he just does it everyone. Shoot this child in the head. Okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh come on, it's Nam. Let's face it.
Oh my god. Full Metal Jacket with Forrest Gump.
Oh my god!
Man.
Imagine Kubrick gets hands on this guy, man.
He wouldn't stop beating him with the soap. He'd just keep going. He and Bubba become BFFs, even though their conversation mostly consists of shrimp. How to cook shrimp, how to preserve shrimp.
How to fish for shrimp. At night time, Forrest says that the army's lonely. Some guy in the next bunk says, "Hey Forrest, look at the tits on her," and throws him a Playboy magazine. He looks at the Playboy magazine and of course Jenny's in it. But not only is that bad enough that Jenny's posed for Playboy, which isn't a bad thing, but the fact that she's done it wearing her college sweater means she gets kicked out of college. Fuck's sake.
You watched this a lot as a Wayne. Jenny is... why is she treated like this?
She's just a pure punching bag. So she's had a horrible childhood with her father. Moved into a trailer park with her granny. Managed to overcome that and like get herself into college. So like she's obviously good at something, although we don't know what she's in college doing. And then she poses for Playboy and gets kicked out of college.
That is so brutal. And then I'm happy to report things work out well for Jenny.
Oh aye, no, things go well. So we'll see Jenny soon because Forrest visits her in some seedy club in Memphis.
I think so.
Her stage name is Bobby Dillon, and she comes out with a guitar and starts singing "Blowing in the Wind."
Yeah.
But she's naked.
Yep.
Well, you can't see that because she's covered up by the guitar. These assholes in the front row start like pestering her, try to touch her and stuff. She tries to kick out at one of them. They throw a drink at her, then Forrest sees red again.
Man, yeah, I just hear, you know that Kill Bill music,
Yeah.
and Forrest's eyes just get bigger. Oh, the man's a machine.
Aye. He comes out, he tries to rescue her. In fairness, she basically tells him to go away, and she throws a guitar at him, then marches off stage naked.
She's sick of him always trying to rescue her.
Yeah, but it comes to a place of like he doesn't know. He's just trying to do what he thinks is right, what his morals are telling him to do, which is help Jenny. But she's also at this place where she's like, "It's my life. You can't like you don't own me," sort of thing.
He says he can't help himself because he loves her. She says he doesn't know what love is.
That's a bit brutal to say to somebody. That's kind of harsh. You don't know what love is. Like, how do you know that he doesn't know that?
It also suggests that she was alright getting from earlier with the knowledge that, you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jenny's maybe...
She's aware of Forrest. She's known him all her life.
Let's keep an eye on Jenny as well. This is just it's a real tangled, sticky...
And then we get the first of several hints of her suicidal tendencies here.
Yeah.
She stands at this bridge and says, "Do you remember that time we prayed and that was going to be a bird? Do you think I could fly off this bridge right now?" And even Forrest, who we're told doesn't get stuff like this, he's like, "What are you talking about, Jenny?" And he looks kind of scared. as if even he thinks she's going to jump.
There's moments that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, a moment of clarity here that it's just weird. He basically says, she basically hints that she's thinking about jumping off this bridge.
She grabs a ride in the next truck that passes by like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And he says, "This is goodbye, Jenny. I'm about to Vietnam." It's kind of funny. He goes, "It's this whole other country." And says that he'll write to her every day, and she says to don't try and be brave. If anything bad happens, just run away. So again, the whole running thing comes back again, I suppose.
And then Jenny disappears.
And we're in Nam, and this is my favourite bit of the movie. The soundtrack's banging.
Well, we get the mum first sitting beside a pool. He's sitting beside a pool with his mum, and she just makes him promise to come back safely to her. Yeah, the soundtrack, is it not just CCR, man? Is it?
Yeah, oh man, it's every I think every song every song through the 60s is banged into this one section.
Give me some loving.
You've got this, you've got Leonard Skinner, you've got the Doors, we've got basically everything you want. But it's great, man.
And Forrest met all of them on his travels. How cool is that?
I know, aye. So we're introduced here to Lieutenant Dan. Who's amazing in this film.
Gary, is he?
He's so good in
is
this
he? Film. Gary Sinise is a great actor. Ransom as well.
Yeah, that's right. Ransom
cool performance in Ransom. He's good in this. I mean, he's good.
He looks at them and says, "What, you two twins or something?" And Forrest goes, "No, sir, we're not related." It's so funny.
I mean,
he's good at this point in the movie where he's like the sort of
later
on in the movie.
Later in the movie, they asked if he rehearsed, and he said, "I watched Born on the 4th of July twice. I think I've got it."
Is that what he said?
No, but come on.
I would believe that.
That's all it is.
Okay, the wheelchair stuff's a bit rough, but this part when he's introduced, he's good here as a lieutenant, I think.
Okay, yeah, he's good in this. He's good throughout this.
Yeah.
I am joking. He's brilliant in this. It sort of capped off with CSI New York, didn't it? Lieutenant Dan gives them some advice about staying alive in Vietnam, saying the most important thing to remember is to keep their socks dry.
He's obsessed with feet, which is a bit unnecessary.
Well, it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, but it's a bit... I know what they're going for here, obviously, but it's just like, you don't need to rabbit on about the fact that he really cares about his feet. Like, we know he knows his legs, man, fuck's sake.
Oh, man.
We get a wee Nam montage. Hendrix is playing, I guess, where he's talking about all the rain, all the different kinds of rain, big old fat rain, sideways rain that comes up the way, blah, blah, blah.
At one point, there was nothing but rain for 4 months. That's a really nice image at that point.
Yeah. And then he's back to back with Bubba at one point, and he agrees that if they make it a Nam alive, they'll start a shrimp business together and go 50-50. And Forrest just says, okay, just agrees to this life-changing business proposal.
All through the war, Forrest writes to Jenny, but she never responds.
Oh man, she goes full-on smelly hippie though.
Can I rephrase that?
Yep.
She goes to explore the world. Heaven fucking forbid she gets a wee bit of something for herself, man.
This is like...
A smelly hippie.
Come on now.
You're still
Did you see the state
truck?
of that van she got into? She maybe isn't smelly at that point, but by the time that journey's finished, man.
She's a deadhead or something like that.
They're just... It's 1967, so it's properly right in the peace and love movement. The war in Nam's on. They're in like a Volkswagen.
She is a boy-hair wifey meeting Charles Manson.
Exactly.
That's how it could have went. Where was Jenny that night? Was she dead at that point?
She might luckily have died before then. But she's a hippie. She's driving around the country, San Francisco, wherever it is she is. You know that van doesn't smell pleasant.
One day, Forrest and his platoon find themselves under attack. They run, and of course, Forrest is the fastest runner.
This is a good scene. This is where the rain stops. Like, they're walking, the rain suddenly stops. Buffalo Springfield's playing in the background. And as soon as the rain stops, the ambush starts, the bullets start flying, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
This is a good, like, action scene here. It's quite well shot, I think.
On the way, Forrest picks up his buddy and carries him from the trouble. This is Tex.
Yep.
He heads back for Bubba, but every time he goes back, he finds someone else who needs help. Concentrate on Bubba first and then get everybody.
I bet you can't just leave somebody.
You couldn't. I'd come for you first.
Would you? That's nice.
Of course I would.
I wouldn't come back for anybody.
You'd be off, man.
I'd just keep running.
I know that about you. That's fine.
Keep running until I hit water.
I would be like Defoe. And you'd be on the helicopter not even looking at me.
I'm like calling the airstrike.
Make sure they're dead.
Because you might be suffering. Makes it be over quickly.
You justify it to yourself.
I got on the Gatling gun at the side of the road and I was shooting trees.
I'm like him in Robocop. Just a pink mist. And you've got my dog tags and you're like, that, my wife. Oh, I did everything I could.
I tried to save him. His last words were I love you and all that. Carry on. Right, see you later, man. You have $5 for a taxi?
Or you jump your motor,
tap money off Amanda.
turn up the radio. Every time he goes back, he finds someone else that needs help and brings them first to safety. One of those guys is Lieutenant Dan, who refuses to let Forrest help him. He carries him away.
Yeah, again, kind of going against what he's been taught in the army so far, which is like he's so good at following orders, but he directly disobeys an order here to save Lieutenant Dan's life.
Yeah.
Which is good. So Dan's obviously raging about it because he wanted to die in battle like his entire family since the Civil War or something.
They've all died in battle, and we get that crazy flashback where he plays multiple versions of himself.
Just falling on the battle. It's a weird scene.
It's so unnecessary. It's too much Sinise.
So obviously last up he finds Bubba. Bubba's in a bad way. He peels off the leaf or whatever that's on top of him and he's badly wounded, but Forrest picks him up anyway and runs, but as he does that the airstrike's been called in, so he outruns an airstrike. Which sounds stupid when you say it out loud, but it looks pretty cool in the movie.
It does. But you can't have that and then have him gain the speech, or it's too much, man.
There's
too much mayo on the sandwich.
Even more than that, as he's running, remember he says something jumps up and bites me because he gets shot in the ass.
Yeah. Which
comes back later, so he gets shot in the buttocks.
I like that.
No, that's fine. But like,
it's good.
That's happening, so he gets shot in the bum. He's trying to find all these people. He saves everybody. He's outrunning an airstrike, and then after all that, as you said, he puts Bubba down, and Bubba, despite the fact that he's a fucking mess, is able to give him this wee speech. What is it he says to him?
He says, "Why all this stuff? It's brutal." He asked why all of this is happening.
Aye,
both men have a disability, and it's really innocent and sad. Mm-hmm. It's brutal. It's so sad. And Michael T. Williamson's performance is brilliant.
It's great.
He's excellent. He should have received something for that. It's great.
100%. Aye. So this is where basically Forrest Gump becomes a war hero because of he saved his entire platoon. We cut to the present day and there's a new guy on the bench. And all he cares about, he's ignored all this though, and he's just like, what about your ass?
That's what he cares about.
He just immediately starts, because when Forrest says that something jumped up and bit him in the bum, this guy is just laser focused on that. He's just like, it was a bullet, wasn't it? It was a bullet in your asshole.
Oh, it's always perked up about.
You know, like, the guy's not even like, oh, I'm sorry that your friend died in your arms, or I'm sorry that, like, you had to go through NAM. He's just like, tell me about your asshole.
What happened to wee Bubba?
He doesn't even ask him. It's just like laser focus on his bum. So it shows you Forrest in the hospital. He's eating ice cream. Seems quite chipper.
He gets a huge friggin' stack of letters from Jenny.
Yeah.
He gets the horn cream.
No, come on. His neighbour in the next bed next to him is poor Lieutenant Dan.
It's Lieutenant Dan!
Lieutenant Dan, who's lost both of his legs.
I did that too comically for what you just said. Oh, Dan.
Aye, Dan's in a bad way. Both his legs are blown off. That doesn't seem to be bothering him as much as the fact that he never died. It's a whole. He talks to him later about a whole pride thing. The whole pride is that he was supposed to die heroically in battle, but Forrest saved him, so he's angry at Forrest Gump.
Their narrative is incredible throughout this film.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
So that's his neighbour. But as you said, Forrest Gump again accidentally falls into being the best at something else.
Ping pong.
Becomes a ping pong expert. Again, I think this goes back to the army thing where he's so good at following instructions. So like the guy that gives him ping pong balls, like the secret is just never take your eyes off the ball.
As soon as he's told that.
So he's so laser focused, he just knows. That's no the secret to ping pong either. Like there must be more to it than that.
This is like a weird version of Memento. You could tell him anything, he'll go do it for you. You could make him an assassin for you.
100%. This guy is going to hurt your mama, so he has to go away and he would just kill you. He would just kill the guy instantly without any questions.
One day, a messenger comes up to Forrest to inform him that he's been awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. He wants to share the good news with Dan, but the army has sent him home.
Yes, so he goes to... Is this he meets another president here, doesn't he?
Lyndon B. Johnson!
Aye, he meets Lyndon Johnson, gets his main Medal of Honor. This is the whole ass thing, isn't it?
He shows his butt to the president.
Aye, and Lyndon Johnson just goes, Jesus Christ, or something like that.
And that guy at the bus stop just probably wants to know what's up with this scene.
I get it, what's up, sorry, tell me slower.
Doesn't he ask a thing about the president?
Aye, so while Forrest Gump's got his uniform on and he's in our nation's capital, Washington DC, he gets mixed up in this hippie parade. This is exactly like the scene in Rat Race. Remember where he gets put on the ring bus? Do you want to see what I'm talking about?
I didn't think we'd talk about Rat Race ever again.
The scene with Whoopi Goldberg and our daughter.
Yeah, I think Long Suspected is like a lost in translation. You never hear it, but you can find this online, what he said.
Yeah, I did look it up. It's not that interesting.
It's just that he doesn't understand war. It's Bubba's message, kind of, which is nice.
Some guy tries to pull the mic out. We can't hear the speech. He gives it anyway. He doesn't realise that his mic's been pulled out. This whole thing drags a wee bit. This movie's starting to drag, if you haven't noticed. And then when they put the mic back in, we just hear the end of the speech where he says, and that's all I've got to say about that. And then we hear Jenny for the crowd. She shouts at him. She jumps in the water. He's like, Jenny! And then he fucking jumps in the water. Then they run to each other, they embrace, and everybody cheers.
Forrest finds himself at a meeting of the Black Panthers, a pro-black defence group. They had influence in the 1960s and 70s. The film's presentation of the Black Panthers, a bit strange.
A bit simplistic.
I think it's got a tone.
No,
There is a conservative tone to this.
Do you think so?
To the entire film, all-American football player, goes to war hero, meets the president, comes back, starts a business, retires on his lawnmower doing the grass for free. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a bit of that whole G. Willikers. Like,
it's a 50s corporate dream.
Yeah, definitely. Although the Black Panther stuff, in fairness, it's not the Black Panther that causes any bother. It's this scumbag boyfriend or whoever the guy is that's with Jenny.
Is his name Steve?
He looks like a Steve.
He's got the glasses. He's got
the glasses. He's got the sort of.
Hey man.
He's got the greasy hair. You know what I mean?
Is this hippie? This is a smelly hippie.
This is a smelly hippie. He's wearing like an armband as well. Like a long.
I think Jenny still smells great. No,
I'm not sure.
She was in that pond, and she wasn't just in that. She was in there before.
Like, think about how long she's been in that van. Oh. She smells at least of hash. If that's the worst she smells, and that's alright. If she just smells of weed.
The worst part is, you know that.
And they're washing their clothes.
You know that bumper sticker, ass or gas, no one rides for free. Jenny takes it seriously.
Oh man,
And every van seems to be running out of petrol.
That is. Oh, that's the fucking bang bus, man. She's on as well.
A 60s iteration of the bang bus.
Oh, it's all carpet as well.
Oh, it's all carpeted and it's stained.
Sorry, I had a fight in the middle of your Black Panther party.
Jenny's boyfriend Wesley hits her.
I just smacks her right in the face.
And of course,
Forrest sees red again. We get the Kill Bill music. Forrest is for killing this guy, man.
he goes full memento and he just punches this guy in the face a lot.
Aye.
Jenny makes excuses on Wesley's behalf and says he doesn't mean it when he hits her. Oh, Jenny, man.
Oh, she says that a lot, doesn't she?
Forrest tells Jenny he'd like to be her boyfriend instead of Wesley. She dodges this statement and comments on his army uniform.
I just says, you look very handsome. Pure KBism, man.
Jenny's been doing drugs and living on the streets with her hippie friends, and now she's going to travel to San Francisco with some friends.
Yeah, she's going to get on this bus. Forrest walks out of the bus. Was it Wesley? Is that his name?
Yeah.
The wee scumbag guy. He's waiting for her. And he's like, oh, Jenny, I'm sorry. You know I've never hurt you. Despite the fact they've just slapped her.
This is one of the... He has this Alabama.
I get so aggressive with him.
That comes out of nowhere at all. And
That's Alabama pride that he's suddenly got.
but he's not displayed anything like that
I know.
before. I don't know.
I do like the scene where Jenny gets on the bus and that Wesley guy looks at Forrest and they gives him a snidey.
Gives him a snidey, not before giving Jenny this Medal of Honour. That is gone to the local... I don't know what they convert...
The pawn shop.
It's cash converters here, it's time.
Yeah, that's going to the nearest pawn shop.
Wesley's going to quickly be on that bus like, come on, Jenny, baby, we can sell it and then buy it back. Never get near that pawn shop again.
No, never again.
Worst Christmas ever. Forrest thinks the government will send him back to Vietnam, but instead they keep him home to play ping pong professionally.
He becomes part of the special services, so he just goes around all the retirement homes or whatever playing ping pong for people. He's so good at ping pong that people are watching him playing ping pong instead of watching the moon landing.
It's supposed to inspire the troops, so you had... Imagine that's what they brung on. I'd be like, where's Jenny?
Get Jenny up here with some ping pong balls,
She
you know what I'm
can
saying?
play some songs. I just heard your ping pong when on a ride on South Park.
No, but they're watching him play ping. He's two paddles and he's playing two games simultaneously because he's a genius at ping pong.
Wow,
apparently,
you've
and
no inspired me at
he's
all.
also ambidextrous apparently, but the moon landing's on TV, and they're not even watching it.
He's a superhero in this.
He can do everything. He can do no wrong in this
Everybody
movie.
slates the Fast cast, but nobody says anything about him being able to do everything in the world.
He would kick Vin Diesel's ass in one of those Fast movies.
Bring in Forrest Gump as the new villain.
Date. Fucking date. They're
It's
running out of
his-
ideas.
Jason Statham's mad cousin. I haven't seen him in fucking years. Well,
We all
cuz
thought he was dead. Turns out he ain't dead.
I ain't running no
You
more.
can't kill a legend. Just the idea for this guy.
You've got this grown-up Haley Joel Osment as the guy in the chair. Okay, Dad. It's got weird. He even travels to China to play their best players. By the time he gets home, he's a sports star.
He's a massive celebrity. First of all, name me one famous ping pong player. Ping pong isn't famous, I'm sorry.
Forrest Gump.
So he gets home to his slave house and his mum still lives
Stop calling it.
It's a slave house.
It's no cool you saying that, I don't think, man.
It's a fucking
Plantation.
It's a plantation in
possibly.
Alabama.
It's a possible plantation.
100% a slave house.
It is possible.
Did you hear who his granddad was? The founder of the KKK? Do you think he was into civil rights?
But he's an unreliable narrator at the best of times.
He's made up his
I think he's
grandfather.
talking piss.
That's even worse.
I think all he did is meet Jenny, paid for it, and the rest he made up.
He just took his tits.
Aye.
Just at the start when he gets hit with that rock, it just hits him really hard and he just hallucinates the rest.
We just missed the in the flashback.
He becomes this big, massive celebrity. He ends up on the Dick Cavett show with special guest John Lennon.
I can't get over this. I don't know what's worse, this scene or Robert Carlyle's John Lennon and Danny Boyle's Yesterday.
Yesterday's one of the worst films, man.
I can't get out of that film.
It's you're like, this isn't Danny Boyle. Somebody's making a joke here.
I can't believe it.
Aye, it's Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump, is invited on to Dick Cavett show, which is a popular chat show, a bit like Carson or Letterman or whatever back in the day. The guest beside him is John Lennon, who's sitting there with his wee military jacket on. This was right at the height of the John Lennonism, is it no? Like, I don't know,
This is his New York era.
Aye, this is right before. This is when he
Boys
was
deep in the Dakota.
Aye. So he asks him what China was like, and he says, in China, there's no religion. He basically just recites the lyrics for Imagine, and John Lennon sitting beside him being like, oh really? You have no religion?
That sounds like a good one.
Yeah, it's fucking
It's
garbage.
unreal. This is too much.
Came up for the lyrics to Imagine, and this way where John Lennon's just sitting beside him, barely listening to him, it's just pure shite. And plus, you're not going to get a ping pong player in a talk show either. Who gives a fuck?
Back then, though, there was hee-haw.
You would have had your Sinatras and all that, but all they cunts. Do you know what I mean?
After the interview, Forrest is accosted by Lieutenant Dan, who's now full-blown born on the 4th of
I've
July.
called him Hobo Dan in my notes.
He is raging.
He is in fairness, this is quite true. This is like, it's like Deer Hunter, man. He's come out of Nam, he's been treated horribly by the government. He's living in a pretty nice apartment, all things considered, in Manhattan.
But still abandoned after the war, which they do to these people, which is gross. Gross!
Yeah.
Gross! I wish I said it at the spludge, but...
He's living in New York in this little rundown apartment. Forrest is walking him home at one point, and we get the classic New York line when a taxi almost bumps into him. He's like, "Hey, I'm walking here!"
I'm walking here, buddy!
And I'm like, "No, you're not."
Oh, no. Damn!
He's all... This is, again, there's another wee bit of religious stuff in here. He's all bitter about God.
They keep sending priests to Dan's door to ask if he's found Jesus, and he says he doesn't believe in heaven.
Because he's like, they tell me that I can walk beside God. Do you hear what I said, Gump? Walk! He's raging about not being able to walk, man.
The following scenes are just a downer.
It's just a series of depressing scenes. So we go to a New Year's party. Gump's there with Lieutenant Dan. They come over to him. Forrest is watching the TV. New Year's happens, and then when the ball drops, everybody's celebrating. Lieutenant Dan's just staring off into the distance. He's got that Vietnam stare. He's no happy, man. He's at the end of his fucking tether.
This is so sad.
Then we cut to his wee apartment. Lieutenant Dan is getting ridden on by one of these ladies. One of the other ladies tries to pump Gump. She starts kissing him and he pushes her away.
He says she tastes like cigarettes.
Which is pretty funny. This is happening New Year's Eve. They've took these ladies home after a New Year's party, and they call Forrest stupid, and Dan kicks them out. In fairness to him, looking after his friend.
Defending his friend. At one point, Forrest said he's going to find some money to buy a shrimping boat because he made a promise to Bubba. Dan sneeringly says that he'll happily be the first mate if he ever becomes a shrimp boat captain.
Yeah, but he's obviously been very sarcastic. He doesn't believe a word of it, so he's just saying this shit. What's the word? Facetiously? Is that how we use that word?
A few months after New Year's Eve, Forrest's ping pong skills nab him an invite to the White House.
Forget John Lennon. This is fucking unbelievable. President Nixon asks him where he's staying. He says Motel 6 or something like that, and President Nixon, of all people, was like, "Oh no, I know a nicer hotel." And then in the following scene, Forrest Gump basically solves the Watergate scandal. What the fuck is this?
He's exposed the Watergate scandal. Why again? That's too much.
There's too much going on here. And he's something dead stupid, like these guys must have lost their keys because they're walking about with flashlights or something, and I can't sleep. It's like, first of all, close your curtains. Second of all, fucking stop being a grass. It's just too much. So he's taught Elvis how to dance. He's gave John Lennon the lyrics to Imagine. He became a war hero. He's became a ping pong champion, and now he's solved the Watergate scandal.
Barely gave Jenny bus fare.
He's not even. Aye, he's not even looked at the road Jenny's on, or she's not looked at the road he's on. In fairness.
One day, Forrest is playing ping pong when a man walks up to him and says his army service is finished and he's been discharged. Forrest responds by running back home to his mama.
Yeah, right, so this is something I didn't notice at first. So he gets home to his mum's slave house. There's ping pong paraphernalia everywhere. There's cardboard cutouts, there's bats, there's he's became some sort of celebrity. And they've got all this money. His mum gets an envelope saying that somebody's offering him $25,000 to say that he likes using their paddle. I didn't understand this at first, but the paddle's got a picture of Ho Chi Minh on it.
Yeah.
It's like Chinese propaganda.
Yeah.
Forrest, if this is in real life and he makes a deal with that with the Chinese man, he's getting put into the FBI, he's getting tortured.
Oh, the third book would be the repercussions for everything he did before.
It's fucking mental. Before he does that, he goes and visits Bubba's grave. This is quite a nice scene.
Yeah, he doesn't have much luck with the old shrimping at first, and somebody tells him to name his boat for good luck. The name he picks, Jenny. I wouldn't have named my boat Jenny.
Oh, no, for good luck, no, definitely.
You'd come back at night and it'd be gone.
With some holes in it. Speaking of Jenny, we were showing poor Jenny here. She wakes up for this bed. There's like some blow or whatever on a table. There's some guy lying in this bed. It's some other guy. It's not the guy that hit her before.
You hear the saxophone playing for Lethal Weapon that's shooting just 2 scenes down, by the way.
You see her looking in the mirror. She's got a black eye, because of course she's got a black eye. Freebird is playing by Learn Skill. She gets on the balcony here. Again, the whole symbolism thing with the bird thing when she was praying with Forrest about turning into a bird and flying away. Freebird is playing the song. She's standing on a balcony trying to, again,
I get it.
Suicidal tendencies.
I get it.
I'm just saying.
I get it.
I know, I need to mansplain to you, but
she slinks off and goes back into a chair and cries.
She considers suicide but sort of backs off. She's having a wee hard time yet.
Forrest keeps trying and failing to catch shrimp until one day he comes into the dock and sees Lieutenant Dan waiting on him.
This is that famous, it's a gif now or a gif, however you say it, of Forrest in the big wave where he sees him. I like the fact that he just jumps into the water and just lets his boat go. Doesn't even bother parking it. Lieutenant Dan, in fairness, says that he made him a promise if he became a shrimp boat captain, he would become his first mate, and he's a man of his word.
In the background, the boat smashes through the dock.
They're terrible at shrimping. Lieutenant Dan joins. He's not good at it either. He's like, why don't you ask your God to pay for it? So it cuts to the next scene and they actually go to church. But instead of just going to church, he joins the choir.
And then, wouldn't you know it, the moment Lieutenant Dan asks Forrest where his God is, a huge storm blows in and traps them out at sea. During the storm, Dan hangs out at the top of the boat and screams at God.
That's really funny.
This scene was brilliant.
He says, "That's all you got." He's feeling like he wants to die here.
And God's fighting him back. He's like,
aye, fucking slinging light at him.
Dan's just taking it and fighting back, and he laughs and he promises the boat will never sink or something like that.
Yeah, that's right, aye.
As it turns out, the storm they were trapped in is 1974's Hurricane Carmen. That happened in real life as well.
Oh man, did it?
There couldn't have just been a storm. Just some storm. It had to be an actual storm.
Event. Yeah.
Which destroys every boat in the region except their boat, the only one out at sea. All of the others are smashed against the shore. They would all resent the pair of them because of that. I was
just about to say that. So basically what's happened is they've took advantage of other people's tragedies
100%.
and just got a monopoly on all the shrimping game.
Yeah.
This white guys went in. All their stuff's got destroyed. He's getting more money than them. He's took all their shrimp and took all their money and took all their jobs.
Aye.
It's just pure whitewashing.
You love this film?
It's fucking crazy. I didn't notice this until now. You don't realise the economic stuff when you're younger. I mean, you're just like, oh, mad storm and now you can fish. But looking back at it, it's so fucked that he does this to these people.
Not only do they then buy 12 boats to capitalise on this.
That's right. So now it's all Bubba Gump shrimp. They own the water now. They own the shrimping game. And you forget your mum and pop fucking shrimp companies. They're out the water. You need to buy for Bubba Gump.
At this point, the man sitting next to Forrest on the bench stops Forrest and laughs at the thought of this goofball sitting next to him as the owner of this big company.
Aye.
Remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
He
Yeah.
sort of is
I
laughing.
didn't realise I was sitting next to a billionaire or something like that. Then he gets up and walks away.
You are in charge of Bubba Shrimp? Is it something like that?
He says, now I've heard it all. And he walks away. First of all, were you not waiting for the bus, mate? He just gets up and walks away.
That generation just want to talk, though.
Aye, I know. And then Forrest immediately opens his wee daft suitcase and pulls out an issue, is it Forbes magazine or whatever? And it's got him and Dan on the front of it, and it says like World's Richest Man or some shit like that. I like the fact that
Fortune magazine.
Yeah, in every picture of Forrest Gump in this movie, he's got his eyes closed.
Aye.
It's quite funny.
It's a good running gag.
It's this old lady who's going to be the next victim, sits beside him on the bench. She's the lady that we'll see for the remainder of the movie on the bench. She's like, I thought it was a lovely story, sweetheart, like that.
I really like this scene. Dan, at this point, thanks him.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't actually say the words thank you, remember? He just says, I never thanked you for saving me in Nam. That's what he says. Then he just jumps in the water and swims away.
You think he might drown himself?
It's hard to tell because he just jumps into the water, but then
Forrest becomes concerned.
Yeah.
And then runs over, sees him swimming, and he's at the most peace he's ever.
Yeah, he even says that. I think he made his peace with God.
He's found a purpose in life.
Yeah. Which is nice, at least they tie up the whole Dan thing.
Gary Sinise is incredible in this. He really
really
is
good.
great. Forrest gets a phone call that his mother is sick and leaves the shrimping to Lieutenant Dan. He runs all the way home to see his mother and finds her dying in bed. She comforts Forrest by telling him that death is just part of life.
Yeah, I mean, Sally feels so underused in this movie. Like, she's so good, she's in the start of it, but like, somebody with her ability, man, you want to see her more in this. His mum dies, and he has to deal with that. This is sort of his first brush with death, but no one knows his last. The old lady at the bus stop beside him's crying at this point. And then her bus comes, and she doesn't get on it, and he's like, is that not your bus? And she says, I'll wait for the next one. She's so engrossed with the story that she actually missed her bus just to hear the rest of it.
Yeah.
And then we've got, this is where the movie starts. You start feeling the runtime here, because this is where he starts becoming a lawnmower guy, and Dan buys him stocks in a fruit company. The fruit company is Apple or Macintosh.
I could see him being in the lawnmower man. Lieutenant Dan runs a shrimping business and keeps sending Forrest his cut of the money. He also gets invested in Apple just as the company is starting out.
At this point, he's a multi-billionaire.
They make a lot of cash.
Yeah, a lot of cash. You get into Apple early. He's already got this $1 million shrimping business. It also shows him giving a bunch of money to charity.
Yeah.
And stuff, which is good. And he gives Bubba his cut, which I hope is 50%.
It should
fortune.
be... Dan will not let that happen.
As I was going to say, because Dan's getting 50.
Dan's getting 50.
It'll be 50 of Forrest's cut.
I think Forrest's getting 5.
So Bubba's getting 2.5.
I mean, Dan's getting about 80. It's no good. It's no nice.
I do like the
happening.
scene where Bubba's family open the check and Bubba's mum faints, and then it shows you the next scene where it's a bunch of white people serving food to Bubba's family. Did you hear that in a retirement home?
Because she's always served white masters.
It shows you that when they're in the army, when Bubba Gump's talking about it, it's like basically they were slaves. They don't say that, but they were. It shows you them getting into the kitchen serving all these white people dinner.
Yeah.
And then at the end, once she gets her money from Forrest, it's this white woman comes out and serves her food.
Yeah.
So that's quite nice that she's able to retire not in servitude, I suppose.
Forrest's cutting the grass in his own lawn when Jenny shows up and walks towards the house.
Right, so this is the part of the movie, even as a kid, I didn't understand. Why does Jenny come back here? Is it just because she ran out of cash?
To put one in the oven to cook and come back later.
Because literally this is what happens. She comes back, she loves him for a wee while, they have sex, I presume once, and then she just leaves.
Yeah.
Why?
To be with her pal.
What pal?
He tells you she goes there to rest and recover. She feels it's the only safe place in the world.
Why doesn't she stay, is what I'm saying? It doesn't really tell you
That's
your
not who
motivation for
she
leaving.
is. She's a free bird, like you said.
Yeah, I
she
guess.
won't stay in
It's
one
too
location.
safe.
She's a nomad and she doesn't know home. It's a sad tale, man.
Yeah. They have a lot of montage where it's like, oh, things are good again. They're back to normal, back to where they used to be when they were peas and carrots. And then we go to Jenny's house again, our childhood home. This is pretty dark. She just starts throwing rocks at it. That's kind of dark, man.
Yeah, and they collapse in tears. They do live happily together for a while. He brings her flowers every day, and she gives him a pair of sneakers to keep his feet comfortable.
Oh, these Nikes, man.
They look good.
No, I'm just saying, like, advertisement, like...
I know.
It's all over this film, because at one point he's wearing a big white Nike tick t-shirt as well. Like, that and Dr. Pepper got a lot of advertisement in this.
Oh, there's a lot of Dr. Pepper. Yeah, she teaches him to dance. It's really nice.
Mm-hmm. Sweet Home Alabama's playing, of course.
He asks if she will marry him. She says no. Forrest tells her he might not be a smart man, but he knows what love is, and he wants to know why Jenny doesn't love him. It's a great scene.
It's a really good scene. Good again. Hanks kills this. This is good acting here. Because again, like, he obviously took what she said all those years ago to heart, where she said that he doesn't know about love. He says it's the only time in the movie, really, that he acknowledges that he's not smart. He says, "I'm not a smart man, but I do know what love is," sort of thing.
At times he's conscious of it, and at times he isn't. It's
yeah, but here is like the only time you ever see him really like offended by it.
Yeah.
As if it's like, don't tell me that I don't know about love. I might not know a lot, but I do know how I feel about you, sort of thing. She's kind of vague about the answer.
She sneaks into his bed, tells him she loves him, they have sex, and then she is dust! She is out of there!
Man, it's like the next morning, the sun's not even up yet, and she's in a taxi.
It is through the night, I think she's in that taxi, and she leaves behind the Medal of Honour.
Yep, and a ping pong pad, I suppose maybe I gave to her. But again, why leave? Is it just because things are getting too comfortable?
Yeah.
Or too real?
Bit of both.
I don't know. But she fucks off, leaves him on his own. He's standing there drinking his wee sad glass of milk.
And he just starts running.
This is the point. I've wrote this in my notes. This is the point in this movie where I'm like, get to the credits, man.
I wanted on away for this film.
This running bit, cut all of this out of the movie. Put it in the director's cut if you need to.
Make it 5 minutes long.
Aye. Basically, I ran for a while to clear my head, is all he needs to say. He could just say this to the lady on the bench. We don't need to see this whole thing. But this is like another 20 minutes worth of screen time here at him just running across the country. I don't give a fuck at this point.
He runs across his town, then his he runs across his town, his county, and then across Alabama and all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Then he turns and runs back the other way until he hits the Atlantic. Eventually, people hear about this, become inspired. They want to know why Forrest is running. And his uninteresting answer is that he just feels like it.
It basically starts a cult.
Is that a cult?
It's a cult. They start following him as if he's some mad leader. Like there's signs for him. There's he's got groupies basically.
Eventually, they arrived at the Capitol in January 6, 2000.
Forrest again, we can't go in this movie without him impacting the culture here. This guy gives me a yellow t-shirt. He gets mud on his face. He wipes his face with the t-shirt and gives him it. And this perfectly round, smiley "Have a nice day" logo is on the t-shirt.
Have a nice day and shit happens.
He comes up with both of them.
Both slogans he comes up with.
Both these like $1 million slogans that are like well known. Of course, Forrest Gump came up with them while he was running about. It's fucking ridiculous, man.
After 3 years, 2 months, 14 days, and 16 hours, Forrest stops running for no particular reason. He is tired and he's going to head home.
That's too much running. 3 years worth of running.
You would get scunnered after 3 weeks, I think.
Of course you would, man. It's ridiculous. And do you know what? I was watching this with my wife and she did point something out, which I didn't notice in all my watchings of this. The weird religious side of this, which I don't know if you agree with this. It kind of looks like Jesus. He's got the big beard and the hair.
Even wiping the face.
Yeah, but when he turns round after he's finished running, like the crowd part, like Moses, to let him through the middle.
Yeah.
And she's like, is he supposed to be like Jesus? And I'm like, I didn't pick up on that, but maybe, man.
He could turn water into wine. He does everything else.
He does. He's done everything else. He's performed so many medicals at this point that you wouldn't be surprised. Jenny sees him doing all this running on the TV and decides, oh, maybe I should give him a phone call, despite the fact that she abandoned him. But he's totally forgiven her that.
Jenny's been cooking up a little scheme of her own.
Aye, so we're done with the flashbacks, thank God. We're now in the present day.
Ronald Reagan is playing on in the background. We see an attempted assassination of the president. Forrest gets a letter from Jenny. Come to Savannah, Georgia.
For a guy who runs everywhere, he's been waiting for the bus this entire time. This woman tells him that the house is just 5 or 6 blocks away. How does he not know that? How's he made it this far?
He couldn't have made it on the front of Fortune magazine and know something like that. Come on.
It's so stupid, man. Anyway.
Jenny apologises to Forrest for taking him for granted, just as a woman comes by and drops off a young boy. Hey, who's this?
Who's this wee boy? I've got a sense about him.
Who's this wee spooky bastard?
Wee Haley Joel, who in fairness is cute in this film. Toty, man, tiny wee boy.
Tiny wee guy in this.
Absolutely tiny.
He was a good wee boy actor, man.
He's a good wee boy actors go, he's a good tune.
Jenny is a mum, and guess what? Guess who the dad is?
Oh, you know who it is? It's Big Gumper.
Big Gumper with that shrimp money.
I'll say this.
Jenny's smart.
This scene... Oh, aye, she's smart. Aye, she picks him well. This scene still gets me, man. Tom Hanks is fucking incredible here.
Oh, he's great here.
When he finds out he's a dad...
Oh, he pulls a full Captain Phillips with the shock.
Yep, the face. But it's not the face, it's the way he asks her, is he like me?
Yeah.
He's terrified. His biggest fear in life is that his son is going to be like him. Again, this is the only other time that he acknowledges that there's something wrong with him, if you want to say it like that, do you know what I mean? And he's like, is he smarter, is he like me, sort of thing? And he's like, it's all in the face, man. Tom Hanks fucking kills this.
She says he's one of the smartest in his class, and it's lovely. It's
he starts crying. It's really, really good, man. Tom Hanks really fucking... I know this is the pure Oscar bait shite, but he does it so well.
Oh, and sitting together watching Sesame Street, it's pure lovely.
Yeah. So now he's just a dad. They're sitting on a park bench, and Jenny says that she's sick. Again, it's not specified what's wrong with her. We're assuming it's AIDS or HIV
it's
or
hepatitis.
AIDS.
It's AIDS.
Yeah. It doesn't tell you how she got it.
It's a virus that the doctors don't understand and can't fix. That's brutal,
AIDS.
man.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah. She asked Forrest to marry him. If I'm Forrest Gump, I'm like that. Hold on. Your track record isn't exactly great. How do I know you're not going to fuck off again?
Forrest says he'll take care of Jenny, and they marry back in Greenbow, Alabama. Guess who shows up at the wedding?
Oh, big Lieutenant Dan.
You've got your new legs, Lieutenant Dan.
Oh, he's been spending that 80% of that money well.
He's looking great.
He does look great. He's had a shave, had his hair done, he's got brand new legs. It's the stuff that they make the space shuttle from.
It's pure nice, man.
It is. It's a nice scene, and he's got a fiancée himself now.
Yep.
It's nice. It's a nice wee scene.
One day, Forrest brings breakfast to bed for Jenny, who looks like she's getting worse. She asks Forrest if he was scared in Vietnam. He just tells her that sometimes it was nice when the stars came out. Then he thinks of all the times he looked at the sky and thought of Jenny.
This is a nice scene, and it's a nice scene because he's describing his life. It shows you flashbacks of like Nam and when he was running and stuff, and all the nice stuff that he's seen in his life, the actual views, like... Because obviously we've spoke about how ridiculous it is that he's done all these things in his life. But the fact that he's appreciating all the beauty that's been around.
You get Forrest's perspective, yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, which is a really nice scene. And Jenny's had the exact opposite. She's not had that. She's just looking around and seeing fucking horror everywhere. It's about a sin.
Jenny dies on a Saturday morning, and Forrest stands at her grave finishing his story. I like when he has the house bulldozed.
Yep, he bulldozes her dad's house. This is a great speech, man.
Forrest tells Jenny's grave that their son is doing just fine and he's taking good care of him. Forrest Jr. has written a letter for his mum, but he doesn't want his dad to read it. Forrest just leaves the letter at Jenny's
I love
grave.
that. I like the fact that he didn't read it.
Yeah, absolutely.
He says that. He says, I'm not to read it, so I'm just going to leave it here. And he doesn't.
Yeah.
He respects the son, which is nice. And then as he walks away from the grave, it's their tree, the tree that he hangs from at the start. As he walks away from the grave, you see a bunch of birds fly over the tree. Do you notice that?
Yeah. Forrest says he's not sure if each person has a destiny or if they're just floating around randomly like that feather.
So that's what the feather is for.
Yeah,
it's the feather stands for destiny, I suppose.
Of all the places that could have hit him in that day and listen to his story, what other stories are there?
Aye.
He cries and tells Jenny that he misses her. It's so sad.
Yeah, aye. It's really a depressing film. It's so sad. His Maud dies, Bubba dies, and then Jenny dies. And then the next scene, the kid gets hit by a bus and dies.
Dan's just taking the money.
Dad stole his money.
Forrest waits for the bus with his son and sees that he's reading Curious George. Before the kid boards the bus, Forrest tells his son that he loves him, and his son says that he loves him too. On the steps of the bus, little Forrest introduces himself to the bus driver, just like Forrest Senior did many years before. It's the same driver. Oh man, in this bit's so brutal. The bus drives away, leaving Forrest by himself. He sits on the side of the road and he's waiting for his kid to come back.
You know, he's just sitting there all day.
That's so nice, man. Like,
I know, it's a long day though, trust me. Somebody's got kids, man.
It's a shame that Jenny had to go through that just for him to have a Wayne.
She goes through this horrible roller coaster of her life just so that at the end Forrest ends up with a kid.
We planned this in July.
Yeah, June. I think maybe the end of June, start of July.
We have mapped out season 2 pretty much in its entirety.
Yeah.
Since June, I wrote this down knowing I don't want to watch Forrest Gump again. I really don't want to watch Forrest Gump again. I left it to the night before we were recording. I had all that time prepared. You know, as a wee Wayne, it was bath time and you'd do everything to run away. Or
yeah, but you had school in the morning, you had to get your bath, even though you'd dreaded it.
I know this film is in the zeitgeist. I know it's in a huge thing in pop culture. I know that it made money that would make Marvel envious now. It's crazy the money this movie made. I still am not into this movie. I think there's great performances. I think it lends itself to being stitched together, but he just does everything and he's the coolest and the fastest and the strongest sometimes, and I don't know, this just is not for me. The pile driving of Jenny, both figuratively and literally, is awful. 2 out of 5 coconuts. I hope I don't watch this again for another 20 years.
Yeah, I will say this. I don't need to ever see this movie again. I've seen this movie, as we discussed, a lot when I was a kid. I hadn't seen it in about 10-15 years before watching it last night or 2 nights ago. This movie is full of nostalgia for me. It makes me happy because it reminds me of watching films with my dad when I was a kid, and that was nice. But it was more the experience, sitting in my mum and dad's house, watching films, having a wee Dr. Pepper. Do you know what I mean?
Man, you were the biggest Gump fan in the world. Mum, have you got a Dr. Pepper? You and your dad having a Dr. Pepper each.
I had this on VHS. And it was a white VHS.
Oh, of course
Which was cool. Like, you opened it and the actual tape was white. It wasn't black.
Straight from Mama Gump's house. I remember the tape.
Yeah, but it was
and
white.
That red line looked gorgeous.
Yeah, it was so cool. There was that, and then the Spice Girls, the Spice World movie was green.
Yes, it was, sir.
So it reminds me. So this movie makes me feel good, like, of old memories, but the actual movie as a movie.
This movie makes me feel good of old memories. What about Ryan when she's dangling near the banister, or when her dad's diddling on, man? Like, did you watch Hand That Rocks the Cradle for a laugh as well?
That's that, right? Schindler's List time now. Right, as a movie, this isn't good. It's not very good at all.
But it gives you good memories.
Tom Hanks is great in it, sometimes. Robin Wright's great in it. Sally Field's great in it. It has good performances, as you said. It is ridiculous. It is so fucking unbelievably overblown. The message is just so cheesy. The whole you can do anything, I understand that, but like, you can't do everything. You can do anything. Like, if you set your mind to it and you want to do this one thing, let's say if you wanted to become the world's greatest ping pong player and that was your goal, then I get that that's it. But see, the fact that you can just accidentally fall into being the best at everything ever is so fucking stupid. The Jenny stuff is brutal. Oh, that is true to life. I mean, that is how that's happened to a lot of people back then, so I get it, but fucking hell, man. Don't need to watch 2.5 hours of this poor woman getting just shit on. Yeah, it's not good. It's not. I can't say this, it's good. I watched it with my wife. The first time she sat through the entire thing, and I think she cringed through 90% of the movie. So, with that being said, I'm going to be fair and give it a 2.5, a 2.5 out of 5 coconuts. Right down the middle. We're sticking with the Alabama theme.
We are, sir. I get to pick a movie for my birthday.
Right, as soon as I forced you to watch Forrest Gump, you get to force me to watch a movie next.
Let's roll the trailer, baby!
Melanie Carmichael has it all.
7 years ago, you were this scared little thing from Alabama, and now you're my steel magnolia.
She's the hottest designer in the fashion world. She's dating the son of New York's mayor, and she's about to get...
Where are we?
the proposal of her dreams.
Oh my God.
Melanie Carmichael, will you marry me?
Oh my God.
Pick one.
Oh my God!
But before she can tie the knot,
I'm in Alabama.
she needs to tie up one loose end.
Get your stubborn self down here and give me a divorce.
As I live and struggle for breath.
Please sign these papers.
The only reason I ain't signing is because you've turned into some hoity-toity Yankee.
This fall,
Go get them Yankees. People need a passport to come down here.
for the first time in 7 years, she's come home.
Daddy!
He's about to surrender!
Thank you!
To face the past she tried to forget.
Nobody finds their soulmate when they're 10 years old. I mean, where's the fun in that, right?
She thought she had everything she ever wanted.
I think a nice country wedding is just the ticket.
One down, 7 million to go.
But she's discovering how much she left behind.
You won't come with me?
I can't.
The girl I knew used to be fearless.
The girl you knew didn't have a life.
I guess you better get on with it then.
Touchstone Pictures presents
Melanie? Look at you, all fancy. Look at you. You have a baby. In a bar.
a story about finding out what you really need.
What are you doing here?
I came to deliver your fiancé. You and I are in love with the same girl.
Oh my God.
Who you really are
What I need to know is if there is a place for me in your future.
and where you really belong.
I'm really happy in New York. But then I come down here and this fits too.
Reese Witherspoon. Sweet Home Alabama.
Can he swim?
Doesn't look like it.